Hello everyone, myself Dr. Jyoti Mandala. Welcome you all to the video lecture series on the course Operating Systems. So after our last lecture we learned about what actually an operating system is, what are all the operating system services we have. We have also understood the definition of an operating system, and also we understood the evolution of an operating system, the different types of operating systems we have, and then we learned about the functions of operating systems also. I hope you all are clear with those concepts. In today's lecture, let us see about user and the operating system interface. So what is the use of this concept is here, like how this talks about how we want to establish a connection between the user and the operating system. You all know the operating system is a system software which acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. Like we have computer hardware that will be totally under the control of operating system only. But whenever the user wants to use any hardware component, then it has to request the operating system. The user has to request the operating system, isn't it or not? Now, there will be some interfaces through which the user can request the operating system. Got it? Those things are called as, like, through that connection the operating system, the user can be requesting the operating system to do some work. Okay, so we have two ways the operating system, the user can connect to the operating system. But before that, let me write down the use of these interfaces. Okay, these interfaces are called as user interfaces. Okay, note down all of you. UI is nothing but user interface. Okay, so user interface refers to the part of operating system, program, okay, or a device that allows a user to interact and receive information. Got it? So this is what the use of the user interface. In simple words, if you want me to tell, the user interface allow us to get connecting with the like this interface will help the user to connect with the operating system. Got it? So we have two types of user interfaces. Note down all of you what are those two types. We have two types. First type is named as command line interface. Okay, which can also be called as CLI. In shortcut, CLI. Okay, the second way is graphical user interface, which is abbreviated as GUI. Alright, so these are the two types of interfaces we have, where any one of these two types, depending upon the type of the operating system, some operating system supports CLI, and some operating system supports GUI, some operating system supports both. Okay, we'll understand in detail about what these types are, and then we'll see some examples also under this one. Okay, now coming to the command line interface, as the name itself, it is telling command. It is nothing but here the user has to directly type some command so that the operating system can take that command and act accordingly. So here you can understand there are no icons available, there is no menu option available, everything is in the form of commands. Okay, the user has to directly interact, interact with the operating system by directly giving one command. So where they will be giving, like so as we have to give give the commands, it will be difficult for the user to remember all the commands and work accordingly. Okay, so what we can, so it is not flexible for the user, it is not flexible for the user to use this one. Why? Because everything is command oriented. Whatever work you want to do, you need to give through that command. Let us consider you want to see all the files whatever available in one folder. Let us consider to do that one, what you need to do, you need to give one command. Example, I'll take one example. In Linux environment, to list down all the files, we have a command called ls. Okay, we need to remember this command. Suppose if you want to remove any command, okay, to remove any file, you need to use rm command. If you want to move between one file to another file, one location to another location, you need to use cd command. Okay, all these things. So everything is a command based, and also here it will always accepts input through keyboard only. So in this approach, in command line interface, always the input is from keyboard. We know mouse is also one type of input device, but here it will not accept the input through the mouse. It will always accept the input from the keyboard only. So considering these points, no, we can say like this method is very difficult to be used by the normal user. Why? Because the user has to remember all these commands, and it is not flexible for the user also to remember all these commands. Some examples where this environment will be used is in Windows. You all know MS-DOS is there, no? Okay, so this is available in Windows. Command prompt, I think you all know. In Windows this is this one, and in Linux also we have. In Linux it is bash shell. I'll show you this environments also. Okay, Linux. In Linux I'll show you. You can see command prompt is there. So this screen you can see here, all of you, this is a CLI, command prompt, where by typing some commands here the operating system can understand. Got it all of you? Whatever command you type here, the operating system will understand that command, and you need to, the operating system will act accordingly. This is as part of Windows. If you see Linux environment, no, for Linux environment also you have a command prompt which is called as a terminal. This looks like this. So where everything you need to display. Let us consider you want to see all the files. I told you, no, Linux command ls. If you type, no, all the files whatever you have, all the directories, that means all the folders and all the files whatever are there, that will be displayed here. I hope you are getting right. So this is about a command line interface, where whenever the user wants to do some work with the help of the operating system, or whenever the user want to instruct anything to the operating system, then the user has to give through the commands only. Okay, as this is not flexible, they have come up with the second type. We have the second type also. What is the use of the second type? It is like graphical user interface way. So let us see about second type, that is graphical user interface. So keep your heading, all of you, graphical user interface. Now in graphical user interface, what happens? In graphical user interface, to make it more flexible to the user, so that no need to remember the commands and all, simply by using some options like we have here, icons option is there, like folders and all files will be displayed in the form of icons. By clicking on that, click option will be there. Okay, and then we have an option like menus will be there. So interactive way, where different options will be available here, and it makes the user flexible to simply tell to the operating system what work they need to do. So here you can understand, like no need to write commands. Only in command line interface we need to write the commands. Here no need to write any command. Okay, so that's why we can say it is very flexible. So we can say it is user friendly. Okay, for some examples, what are all the examples? You can say Windows operating system is a graphical user interface. If you see here, to click any file, to open any file, let us consider I want to open any file. Then to open any file, are we going to write any command? No, we are simply using the mouse. We are moving our mouse pointer there and we are clicking on that file. Understood? So that means here it will not take input only from the keyboard. It can take input from the other devices also. Right, but whereas in command line interface it will take input only from the keyboard, but here it will take input from any input device. That is what the advantage of this graphical user interface. Okay, now so these are the two ways where the user can give or instruct the operating system or request the operating system to do some tasks. Okay, now here I have highlighted like which operating systems are using CLI and which operating systems are using GUI, but some operating systems are there which supports both the things. Okay, it is not like all the operating system which is supporting CLI may not be supporting GUI. That is not the case. Some operating systems are there which supports both the interfaces. So many systems supports both CLI and GUI option interfaces. So here itself you can tell first one is our Windows. Windows is supporting both the interfaces, right? So we can make that one as one example. Example, Windows. You all are familiar because I have shown you the command prompt, and we know Riven is also there with the Windows. We can have Linux, one flavor in the Linux you can say Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu is also supporting both command line interface and GUI. How you can see here, I'll show you. This is the command line, okay, but you can use the mouse pointer also. See, I want to open this folder, no need to give the command here. I can move my mouse pointer here and I can click here. Then what happens, the folder is opened. Okay, in case of Linux it is called as a directory. Okay, that has been opened, that is opened here. Got it? That means Linux, that my version here is Ubuntu version. Okay, so that also supports both the interfaces. What type of interfaces? CLI interfaces and GUI interfaces. Got it? I hope you all are clear with these two types of interfaces. So always remember what is the use of these interfaces. The use of these interfaces is to let the user request the operating system to do something, because everything is under the control of operating system only. So to request the operating system there should be some interface. We can give command or we can use the graphical user interface. It depends upon this operating system what we are using. Alright, so this is about user and operating system interfaces. I hope you all are clear with this concept. So let us all meet in the next lecture. Until then, thank you all of you.